If you're thinking about listing your house with a realtor, or if you've already done so, or even if you're just considering selling it by owner, you're going to want to listen to this message immediately. It will potentially save you tens of thousands of dollars. So listen up and check out this brief video. We are sisters who buy houses, and we buy a lot of houses. We want to buy your house, and we want to buy it at full price. Yes, you heard correctly. We want to buy your house at full price. Now, as crazy as this sounds, and even without knowing you or your house, we can probably say right now that we love your house and we want to buy it. In fact, it just might be the perfect house for what we're looking for. So even if you're asking full value or the Zestimate for your house, it's probably okay with us as long as it's within reason of the true market value. So you might be asking, how does this even make sense? Well, to be perfectly candid, we would have to actually see your house to do some due diligence on the value, but we're sure we could buy your house if we can work out an arrangement. Let me explain. We don't want to list your house, so there's not going to be any commissions for you to pay. We are buyers. And while we're real buyers, you should know that we're not actually going to live in the house. Our plan is that we will buy the house so that we can turn around and resell it to one of our owner-occupant client buyers. You see, we buy a lot of houses, and there are a lot of benefits to the sellers that we buy from. For example, in addition to paying full price for the house, we also generally end up paying all your closing costs as well. Now that amounts to thousands of dollars on top of the savings from no realtors being involved, and in addition to no crazy discounts being requested. To be perfectly candid, we won't even need to have inspectors traipsing through your house looking for concessions, nor are we going to need loan points covered. And we won't need mortgage contingencies or bank appraisers coming out who can kill deals right before we close. So we can close on your house pretty much as soon as you're ready. And this will be at our expense. You don't pay anything. And it means that if you want to close next week or next month or in 3 months, we're fine with that. Whatever works for you, and it's going to be entirely up to you. So here's a quick recap. We can pay you full price. There aren't going to be any realtor commissions coming out of that price. There won't be any crazy discounts. We pay all your closing costs. We won't need inspection concessions or mortgage contingencies, and we won't ask you to pay our loan points or anything like that. And you can close whenever you're ready, and the house will no longer be your concern. Now, I'm sure you're aware that we have to ask for something in return for all of this, and you'd be correct. But it's really a very simple ask. The one and only thing we ask in return for all these benefits is that you have just a little bit of patience, and we're going to pay you for that patience. The only way we can give you all those benefits is if you can take a monthly payment from us or something like a rent payment for a little while until we bring new financing in to pay you off in full. And we'll be working as fast as possible to get to that point because frankly, there's nothing in it for us except more work until that happens. So we're going to be totally aligned in trying to get that done quickly. So you tell me, patience is a virtue. Are you willing to trade a little bit of your patience for a much higher price plus some extra monthly income with no hassles, no headaches, and let us get this house off your plate? Now you may be asking why this makes sense for us to buy in this way. And our reason is really simple. It's just a matter of supply and demand. Right now, we have far more buyers than we have inventory of houses that we can get them in. And the issue is that many of our buyers and prospective buyers with houses under contract have had their loans fail to get approved for one reason or another. Usually it's something minor, but sometimes it's things like a divorce, job loss, or a new job due to COVID, bad credit, or other things that just take time to fix. So, the owner of the house that they had under contract with a loan contingency ends up not being willing to wait. And then our buyer is left with an almost completed loan, but no house to buy. So that's where your house comes in. And that's where it comes in with us as a buyer while we work with our buyer to get a new loan in place to cash you and us out entirely. Now, you get paid the entire time this is happening. And you can probably imagine that this situation is happening in droves right now. It's something like 70% or more of people don't qualify for a loan at the moment. That's a huge chunk of the market. We're getting call after call from people who are now having to make job changes, and that just changes the loan picture and consequently the buyers and sellers' plans. So we do fully expect our buyers to be approvable once they satisfy a few things with underwriters. But for now, in many cases, they're just not able to show the required stream of paychecks from the same employer because they've had to make a job change. If you know anything about loan processing, this is called seasoning in the credit and loan markets. It means that underwriters won't generally approve loans until a certain number of paychecks from a new employer have come in. It means they need a beautiful home like yours, but they don't want to wait. They have the money and they can still afford it, but now the bank is not ready to fund the purchase. Simply put, it means we need a bigger inventory of homes and fast so we can get our buyers into homes and work with them overtime to get them new loans. Now for you, it means we can pay you more for your house than we really should. And it means that you as the seller stand to benefit tremendously from this weird market dynamic. Now realtors won't represent these buyers anymore because they won't even work with people unless they have a current pre-qualification bank letter. But these buyers don't qualify at the moment, but they will, hopefully shortly, and you benefit tremendously from that. So this is the gap that we're trying to fill, and this is why we need you to be just a little bit patient so we can get them through the process so that everyone can win in the end. We simply have a ton of great people who need time to get approved for a new bank loan that will come in and get you cashed out in full, and cashed out in a way that's not netted down by realtor commissions or discounts. And to do that in a way that allows you to also collect monthly payments while you go ahead and relax and let us deal with the house. So the benefits to you amount to a higher price, less hassle, and offloading the house quickly without the typical headaches of selling a house. Now the trade-off here is patience, but we make that patience beneficial because we pay you for it. So you might be asking, how do we get paid? Well, we get paid entirely from our buyer and not from you. This is unlike what you get with realtors where they make money off of you with a hefty fee from the sale of your house. Our buyer pays us a premium price over what we pay you because the difference in price from them and to you is only very small when it's factored into the monthly mortgage payment that they're going to be making when their loan comes in to cash you and us out. So effectively, we make money on bringing that loan in that gets you paid in full. And that's what we mean when we say we are aligned in our goal to get this to happen as quickly as possible, regardless of the term that we put in place to make that happen. In all cases, we both want this to happen quickly, and we work diligently to see that happen. Now, we do want to go ahead and offer you yet another option, but it's not for everybody. If you still want to sell by owner or list with a realtor and get cashed out immediately the traditional way, we urge you to still contact us because we can definitely help you out. We do understand completely why it also makes sense to sell in the traditional way. So here's a question for you. If a realtor brings you a buyer, are you willing to pay them a commission? If you answered yes to that question, that's very smart on your part because it's extremely likely that if you don't sell to us, the ultimate buyer will be represented by a realtor. And that's because most buyers who can get a loan today and have the needed down payments and credit perceive realtor services as free, and so they use them. It's an extremely small percentage of for sale by owner sales that happen without a realtor in some way, shape, or form, unfortunately. The sellers pay the freight on that. The sellers pay the realtor commission, and the buyer pays nothing. So let us help you out. Now, while we won't be able to buy it ourselves, Unless you change your mind about taking monthly payments for a little while, we can absolutely help you get the most out of your house in price and cash, and help you make sure no tricky stuff is done by the buyer's realtor with respect to their contract and their offer. We can provide you with our own broker referral. He's very likely to get you a much higher price if he represents you than if you try and go it alone. The bottom line is, the increased price you're going to get by getting good representation from our broker for you and your house is going to more than pay for his commission. Believe me, this is a better plan than just paying the buyer's agent a commission. Isn't it much better to have good representation on your side as the seller, especially if the realtor fee comes out of a higher price that they're going to help you obtain? And it certainly isn't going to cost you any more than you were going to pay anyway. So if this makes sense, give us a call and we'll help you in any way we can. Go ahead, click the link provided and set up an appointment to speak with us in the scheduling app below. Go ahead, do it now. You'll be glad you did. Well, thanks for listening. We look forward to talking with you real soon.